The Overwatch community has just received another new hero. I always expect the Overwatch team to pop off with their character creation, but my god, did they pop off. We asked for a beam and turret support separately, and they really said bet and put it into one character. Meet Illari, the newest Overwatch 2 support hero. Now, like Kiriko versus Kiriko, there's two pronunciations of her name. Illari, and I'm gonna absolutely butcher this, but it's something like Illari. God, I'm so sorry. Anyway, I think it's time to use this meme again.
I don't want to play with you anymore.
I didn't use Lifeweaver for obvious reasons. Now, some of you know that I recently attended an Overwatch Creator Summit, and I had an amazing opportunity to pick the brains of the people that worked on this character. According to them, she was made with DPS mains in mind and to possibly get more people into playing support, which means longer queues. So I suggest finding something to do during those. Personally, I'm playing Neopets. Like Kiriko, Illari is very DPS heavy, and I'd say her difficulty level is higher than BAP or Ana. I say this for multiple reasons. One being because she has to swap between a beam and a hit scan weapon. And if you're like me, getting easily disoriented, sometimes it can trip you up. The second reason being her weapon is just harder to hit. You know when you're trying to desperately shoot a Kiriko and it feels like her hitbox is getting smaller and smaller with each shot? Like she just went on a juice cleanse and is rapidly shredding weight right before your eyes? Yeah, that's how it feels on Illari, except when you're trying to shoot at any character. But don't panic yet, Mercy and Moira mains. Not everything requires aim. She does have a turret that auto aims for you, so it kind of balances out. Her primary weapon is called a solar rifle. There's two ways to shoot enemies with it. One is like this, and then there's this. The second option is when her rifle is fully charged, which auto charges, so you just have to wait to shoot it at max, and whenever it's max, you can 2-tap a squishy with headshots. Her primary fire has 75 base damage with a 1.5 times crit multiplier and damage fall off starting at 30 meters. Next, her alternative fire is her healing beam set to right click. This beam is kind of deceptive. It looks like it goes much farther than it does, but the range actually isn't too crazy and the healing does feel pretty fair. Like the primary, it is also on an auto charge, so it has limited resource, which means you have to be sure about what you're using it for. However, one of her abilities is this healing pylon that shoots out little beams that auto heals allies one at a time and targets whatever ally has the lowest HP percentage-wise. And it is infinite. It will sit wherever you place it forever until it's either destroyed by you or the enemy. But if an enemy destroys or even attacks it, it will trigger a much longer cooldown and you will definitely feel it. Initially, the cooldown starts at 8 seconds, but when it's attacked, it will have an under attack status that remains for 3 seconds after the last damage is taken. And if destroyed while under attack, it'll trigger a 12-second cooldown. So you need to be strategic with placement where you think the enemy won't be able to easily destroy it. When playing, I definitely noticed it's similar to sim turrets where people are slow to shoot at it. But it's also harder to remember because it's not doing anything directly to you, so I don't know, it's just hard to notice. A couple notes is that it has travel time, it has massive range, and you can stick it on walls or ceilings. And when placed correctly, this little guy has so much horsepower, I tell you what. It is a top priority when you're on the enemy team to destroy this thing because it pumps out those heals. Then she has this fun little movement ability called Outburst. Outburst launches you in the direction you're moving, but that's not even the best part. She not only launches herself, but she also knocks back enemies. And it's actually a pretty powerful boop, which means you can throw games to go for silly little boop kills. I see you perking up, Lucio mains. Additionally, it does 10 damage to anyone within radius. However, the knockback and damage can be blocked by barriers. And finally, her ultimate is called Captive Sun. It fires an explosion of solar energy, and enemies hit with it are slowed and explode after taking a certain amount of damage, which can come from any character, not just Illari. The explosion radius is 8 meters and deals 50 damage to all players within range. After dealing 90 damage to a target with the Sunstruck effect, the status will detonate into a 120 damage solar burst. And unfortunately, I had to learn this one the hard way, but her ultimate can be eaten. Additionally, she becomes God and floats around. Basically, she's smiting you. When hit with it, you get this visual on your screen that slowly fades out when the energy has died down and the time has passed for the second explosion. If someone close to you is about to bust, you get an alert similar to pulse bomb so you can try and get away, but we all know your teammate that's hit with it is gonna run directly into you and kill you. I'm gonna be honest, being hit with this thing massively sucks. I feel like I kind of skimmed past the part about it having a slow effect, which if anyone has been within radius of Doomfist or Reese's ult, you know the sheer panic that sets in when you're slowed down. Now imagine being slowed down and having a major chunk of your screen slowly getting darker like you're seeing your life fade away with a non-biblically accurate angel in the center of what little vision you have. And on top of worrying about your own life, you have to worry about your teammates' lives while you're desperately looking for cover, because if they manage to blow you up, you'll take someone with you if you're close enough. So when hit with the Sunstruck status effect, you are slowed by 40% with it gradually reducing until it hits 0% over 7 seconds. If you're like me and have no real concept of time, or like numbers in general just make you irrationally angry, so your brain shuts down whenever you see or hear them, here's the summary. It feels like forever. I play pretty close to cover as an Ana player, and 90% of the time when I was hit with this ult, I couldn't even make it behind my cover area before taking the damage that would set off the second explosion. So if you hear a small Peruvian woman shouting and ascending into heaven, I highly recommend getting out of her way. But if you can't do that, your alternative option is to have a Kiriko or Zarya nearby to give you some aloe vera that'll clear that sunburn right up. Her kit is very fun, very fluid, and strong. So basically like the opposite of Lifeweaver's launch. My takeaway thoughts after playing her are that she is a DPS support. I mean, duh. But if you can aim, you're gonna fuck up the enemy team. Everything from her visual design, to her kit, to her sound design is absolutely incredible. For me, she's as fun to play as Kiriko because there's just so much to her kit. She has movement, she has strong crits, plus you get to pretend to be Sky Daddy in her ultimate. Oh, and the best part, you can ignore your teammates. This is one support that you are not on babysitting duty for once because you hired a professional pylon to do it for you. My Ryan is critical behind a wall? Don't care, that's my pylon's problem. It's just like those rich people that have nannies to watch the kids they never wanted. Also, like, you don't need to babysit if everyone on the enemy team is dead anyway, so...
That's
Yeah,
play.
that's play.
Wait.
That's the footage right there.